Hello, and welcome to The Listening Room, a spirituality podcast brought to you by SpiritSourceConnect.com. My name is Suzanne Goulet, and in each episode, I'll be speaking to you about new spirituality and how you can use it to improve your daily life. The following episode is part 2 in a series. If you haven't done so already, you may want to go back and listen to part 1 before moving forward. Enjoy. So I want to offer you a couple of ideas on what you can be thinking about if you are going through a lot of changes. First of all, understand that your life is changing, and that means getting out of denial. So if you are moving along and things are frustrating you and things are changing left, right, and center, stop trying to continue to bang your head against the wall and trying to make these changes occur on the outside. It's time for you to just sit down, get quiet, go within, and take a much broader view of what is going on in your life. And in this way, you'll be able to get out of denial about what exactly is happening. Number 2, to have a look at everything that is changing and recognize if some of these things that are coming are just part of your past that are trying to leave. Likely, it could be either a relationship or work or your attachment to things that you think have value. So recognize that the past wants to leave you. In order for something new to come in, you have to have movement with the current situation and the past leaving you. I want to read you something now that is from A Course in Miracles, and I myself am going through a number of changes as well, and what I continue to maintain is my meditation practice and also my study of the Course. And whatever I am reading is always quite helpful for what exactly I am going through at the moment. So if you're not familiar with what the Course in Miracles is and where it's come from and what it's all about, I encourage you to go back to some of my previous broadcasts, and in particular there was one broadcast where I in detail describe what A Course in Miracles is and how it can help you. So here is just a quick paragraph about what it's talking. It's referring to, there's a section of the Course that's called the Manual for Teachers, and kind of describes who teachers are and how they will be living their lives. And one of the first things it talks about, which Sabina talked about too, is the development of trust. So it says, first, they must go through what might be called a period of undoing. This need not be painful, but it usually is so experienced. It seems as if things are being taken away, and it is rarely understood initially that their lack of value is merely being recognized. How can a lack of value be perceived unless the perceiver is in a position where he must see things in a different light? And so the plan will sometimes call for changes in what seem to be external circumstances. These changes are always helpful. So a big point of that passage is that you may have a number of things in your life that you feel are valuable to you, but as they are being taken away, that is how you realize how valueless they are. So many people who are experiencing changes right now in their work or in their financial situation or in their health are coming back and recognizing how important their relationships are, how important their family is, how much more important their spirituality is. So we are creating a whole new value system, and it's high time that we did, not only for ourselves personally, but also for the entire world. You know, one of the things that the Mayan calendar talks about is that we are in a period now where ethics is becoming more and more important in everyone, and that everything unethical is being brought into the light. So you can see that happening. You'll see it in the news all over the place. And so it's wonderful, actually, to be seeing so many institutions or even individuals just now suddenly the value of being very, very ethical is the value that's being born here. No more backroom dealings and large corporations or institutions continuing to take advantage of the general population. Another thing that you can be starting to do once you have gotten out of denial, you're assessing that there are real changes going on that are having to do with your past leaving you so that you can make room for something brand new to be coming in, is that you want to now be getting out of your head and into your heart. So much of this even feeling of chaos is because we're highly concentrated in the mental mode from the neck up. We're going through all the bazillion aspects of the situation in our mind. And very, very likely when we are thinking about the past or we are thinking about the future, we're going to be coming up with quite a lot of fear. And all of this fear can be completely dissolved when we can focus ourselves in the right here and the right now. That is the only thing to do, to stay in the now and to follow my intuition. And there is urgency to the situation for all of us in these changes as well. They're going to continue to be coming faster and faster and faster. If you have experience with your changes already, you will be falling into more and more changes, but you will know how to handle them better. It's as though you've been having swimming lessons for years and years and years, and now you're going to be thrown into the deep end of the pool, and you know how to swim. You know how to tread water. You know that if you panic, you will drown. You know that if you stay centered and calm, you will survive and thrive. Not only that, but you'll likely be out there saving a few other drowning individuals as well. So staying centered and focused and in the now and allowing these changes to occur without judgment. If any of you have tried to be in charge of your life and have found that things are not always going so great or not how you want them, then you have likely learned how to let go and let a higher source kind of take over. And it requires 100% faith. You can't have faith in your own methods if they're failing and then have faith in a higher power. You must hand it over completely. You must know that there is a divine plan for you. And your only job is to stay connected with that higher plan. Now, I strongly recommend that everyone have a regular meditation practice. It doesn't have to require a lot of time. Even if it's 15 minutes when you first wake up and 15 minutes when you are finally going to bed. Even all of this can be done while you're still in your bed. If you are having particular trouble getting your meditation practice going, I encourage you to go to my website, spiritsourceconnect.com, and there are audio downloads that are very reasonable there. And not only are these guided meditations, but they're fully channeled from Spirit. And Spirit is bringing us so many high and positive energies right now. It's no longer about going out there and having to dig deep and do a lot of healing. Actually, what we're being asked to do is to receive a much, much higher source of energy and of light, and that we are being asked to be doing this constantly. And I've been finding that I can do it. that even if I'm involved in a very detailed technical project, I can be receiving this information and using it in exactly what I'm doing. So remember that you must trust, and remember that if there is panic or worry or fear, you drown. You know, that was a huge message in the movie Avatar. Fear is what would cause death in Pandora. So I'm going to wrap this up now. You're listening to Suzanne Goulet from SpiritSourceConnect.com. Thank you very much for listening, and good night, everybody. This is Suzanne, and I want to thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this program and would like to receive a free gift, please visit SpiritSourceConnect.com. Thank you.